Hey guys, the Hertz here to give you another chapter of One Piece. One Piece chapter 705. Basically, this one's called Maynard the Pursuer. And before we get into that, let's look at the cover page, and it's pretty much the end of the rebellion. It's pretty much all been sorted out now. Kaido's Castleton, his bodyguard, has pretty much taken care of all the rebels. So yeah, that's the end of that. I don't know what Karibo's going to do, if he's going to take up the cause. Who knows what's going to happen? But before I get started, I gotta say there's a shitload of fucking parts. I mean, there's so much going on in this chapter. Oh, fuck. I thought chapter 700 had a lot going on, but man, a lot. This is probably the most compact chapter of One Piece I've ever read. I've never seen so much going on, and I don't see how he's going to handle all this. But I think he wanted to establish a lot because it seems like a lot's going to happen. But then again, we've seen stuff like this with yeah, when the supernovas and the admirals came in, and you had the pacifistas. So I think it seems like a lot, but I have faith that Oda will be able to handle it. So first of all, the first part is pretty much Frankie and the toy soldier, and Frankie pretty much, you know, he's not really worried about what's going to happen with Burgess and Luffy. He still thinks Luffy can take him, and that just shows you how confident he is in his captain. But then the toy soldier's all up in his grill, and he's like, you know, I don't really need you. I can take care of this myself. All I have to do is find a member of the Don Flamingo crew, and MS translates it as bitch slap them around until they tell me what I want to know. And everyone around him's like, what the fuck did you just say? Are you talking smack about the Don Flamingo family? And the soldier pretty much points out, you know, if you wanna say stuff like that, you have to say it in a private setting, because it's like, I don't know, it's a very, yeah, it's against the politics there, and yeah, so they go off, and we'll see what comes of that. I don't know what Frankie's planning to do, but he's obviously on track. He wants to find the laboratory, the factory that makes the smile. So the next part is a big part, which is basically the Marines, and they're going incognito, scouting out the pirates who are showing up for this big tournament, because, you know, they're not going to ignore it. They're Marines. They have to capture these pirates. They don't put bounties up there for no reason. And this is like a big jackpot of pirates. And the Marines are gathering. They're just at the moment they're making a list of who's there, what kind of power they're going to have to deal with, and how much power they're going to need. Now, obviously, they're not going to go crazy and get a bus call. It's better just to capture these pirates than kill them. And we don't know what's going on with how Doflamingo's change of status has affected how they can operate. Because the soldiers did say that the Marines, the police, they just couldn't walk in there anymore. But that might be due to the fact that Doflamingo was a Shibukai, so he doesn't have that protection anymore. So, you know. But what happens is one of the scouts, Maynard, Captain Maynard the Pursuer, he's writing his report. He's undercover. He's dressed up as a gladiator for the games, for the tournament, And Gambia, the missionary, who has a bounty of 67 million belly, shows up and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing, bro? You know, are you doing things you shouldn't be? Are you doing marine-like things? You're looking very secretive, very shady. I think I might have to report you." And Catman's like, "Hang on, I've got to go take care of something." And the next the next page is Catman Maynard cleaning his hands, wiping away the blood after he's just essentially fucked Gambina's shit up. Um, and Gambia is in the trash, all bloodied. He's knocked out, and Maynard's like, "Okay, tick Gambia off the list. I'm stuck in for someone else, but I've taken care of him now." And Fujitora, yeah. By the way, that guy, the blind guy, he is a marine. He is Fujitora, Isho Fujitora, and he's an admiral, and he's pretty much. He's saying, okay, we need 3 battleships, which I think is not enough. I mean, these battleships need to be full of vice captains and stuff. It needs to be Whitebeard war level forces, a few pacifistas I'd expect. I mean, there's a lot of shit going down here, so maybe he's confident in his own abilities. And one of the Marines, he says, you know, we need a figure for the amount of people who are in this country. And one of the Marines are like, you know, why? I mean, we only need the amount of people we need to defeat, right? The pirates. And he's like, yeah, but there's going to be a lot of collateral, and, you know, we're Marines. Shouldn't our first priority be the people? And this shocks the other Marine. He's like, oh my god, this guy, he's amazing. Like, that's he is one of the best Marines so far that I've seen to date. I mean, that's the kind of guy Kobe wants to be. So I've got mad respect for Fujitora. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen a Marine that I can really respect, because he's more about light justice than Akainu's dark justice, which is surprising. I'm surprised, but then again, he's a Marine, and I think Akainu has his own sense of justice, but he still respects the resourcefulness of his fellow Marines, so he's going to use him. So then we move on to Caesar's transfer group, and it's called Scenes. These are all called Scenes in this chapter, which is, I don't remember this before, but maybe this is how he's splitting it up. This is how Oda's going to tackle each kind of scene by splitting it up into scenes, and like, so you know what's going on. So it's like, this is the scene you're going to be focused on, instead of what he usually does is locations. This location, Luffy's group. That location, Law's group. So we're just doing the scenes. And by the way, Robin has an awesome disguise. I mean, that dress, that boots, that hat, you know, she is really, really hot. And actually, I think Caesar's transfer group, they have the best looks. I mean, I love what Usopp's dressed in. It really fits his character. He looks really cool. Caesar looks really cool. You know, he's rocking that scarf, the gas on either side. I love the moustaches. Law looks really cool with his shades. Actually, doesn't he have some kind of tattoo on his chest? Or is that like... It looks like a tattoo with his pirate Jolly Roger on his chest, which is really, really cool. I really like that. But Law, you know, they're talking about these fighting fish, and they say they capsize any ship, and I find this odd because Fujitora is sending his battleships to Green Bit, so won't the fighting fish capsize them? It seems like no one knows about these fighting fish. Everyone's like, let's go to Green Bit, yet no one's heard of these fighting fish apart from the people living there. But the same thing, it's the same with Kairos. No one knows about Kairos except the people living there. And what I find weird is that Law doesn't have a problem with it. He's not concerned. He's never even been to Dressrosa, let alone Greenbit. Yet he's not concerned about it at all, as if he knows that, you know, actually there might be dangers, but it's not a concern to us, or there's no dangers at all. And I think his crew would have done a lot of research beforehand, before telling him, hey, this is where you want to make the deal, this is where you want to do this is where you want to do that. So I think he's fine, but he's worried about the lack of panic, that Doflamingo is no longer a Shibukai, which gives him certain privileges. As mentioned before, the Corrida Coliseum is off limits to the Marines and the police. And I'm guessing that's mainly because he's a Shibukai and now he's not. So yeah, it is, and Sanji brought it up too, so it is interesting to see what is going on. And next is, holy shit, CP0? Oh fuck, I mean, wow, and shit just got real fast. I mean, oh my god, shit. I really want to see how involved they get. But here's something that I noticed, I'm not sure if you noticed it. The guy in the middle of CP0, the hat he's wearing, doesn't it look like the hat the guy was wearing, that government official was wearing, when Doflamingo was talking about Moria and how he escaped? And how Doflamingo said to Moria just before he was going to kill him that these orders come from higher, someone up in the government, and we thought it was the Gorosei or Kong, but if CP0 stands above, we don't know what CP0 standing is. They could be really high up. We don't really know, but we do know that they are a powerful group, and I think that this guy in the middle was the one who ordered Doflamingo, who was conferring with Doflamingo at the time. And Doflamingo did say, you know what, I know you're really high up in the government, but don't underestimate me. So I think what's going to happen is this guy is going to speak to Doflamingo and say, Doflamingo, what the fuck, what's going on? What are you planning to do? Can we use you anymore? And it's going to be really interesting to see dynamic between Doflamingo and this character, if it is in fact that person. So the fourth section, the fourth scene, or well, fifth scene, is Zoro gets his swords back, and he sees the fairy, and the fairy's shitting herself. It's got I think it's a girl, because it goes Kia, and Zoro sees it, and she's like, oh shit, he saw me. I don't know what the fuck, and it's obvious it's not a human, because it's like, a human saw me, I can't let a human see me. So yeah, and Zoro's like, shit. So it's going to be interesting to see what that's all about. Kinemon gets found out and gets captured. Again, for fuck's sake. Because he's worried about his friend Kanjuro, and they're like, you know, we saw you on the monitors during the Punk Hazard thing, and now we're going to take you back again. I don't know what their obsession with Kinemon is. What does he have to offer? Maybe it's the fact that he had something to do with Caesar's capture. Maybe that's why they want him, but I don't know. I don't see why they want Kanjuro and Kinemon and the samurai in general in the first place. I hope that's later expounded upon. And I just want to say about the artwork, I really love the reflection in his glasses. I think out of all the mangaka, Oda deserves his praise, because he puts so much detail into the very smallest things, and it's just beautiful. It's just it's just astounding how he can put so much detail into really small sections, like the scratches. And I'll have to do a discussion video about quality of manga and styles and artwork, and how to differentiate between an art style and art quality. So that's that, and then we move on to Sanji, and he pretty much just takes out a sniper. But I don't know why there's a sniper. I don't know what has this girl done. I really don't understand. But Sanji's pretty much the sniper's pretty much scoping him out, and Sanji just suddenly goes into Skywalk. And the next thing you know, the sniper's been taken out, and Sanji comes back down, and she's all over him, and he's like, you know, this no one else, anyone could do that. And when I mean anyone, I mean me. He's proper loving it. He's loving it. He's loving love, the hurricane of love. And he's pretty much thinking about Nami and Rob, and he's saying, how are you? Because life is just amazing for me right now. So I'm glad to see Sanji's getting what he wants, but I think it's going to result in a heartbreak. We'll see. And then lastly, is the security team. Basically the team at the Sunny Go, and they're pretty much playing Shogun for Momonosuke, and Nami looks really hot. It looks really hot. Oh Nami, Princess Nami, as Momonosuke calls her. And they're pretty much doing it because they're trying to keep Momonosuke happy. I think it's because he keeps thinking about that vision he had with Doflamingo, and I'm gonna talk about a little. I'm not sure if it's a theory, but it's something that everyone seems to be forgetting, but I think it needs to be acknowledged because it's very important. And there's also the fact that he's just a child. I mean, as hardcore as he is, he's been through kidnapping. His father's gone off. His father's friend has been captured. A lot of shit's going down, and he's very young. And I don't think it's too much to expect him to be sulking and be worried. He's not, you know, he is a child. As hardcore as he is a child. He's still very young, and he's experiencing a lot. I mean, if I was his age and I was experiencing what he was experiencing, I'd be fucked up. So I think it's actually within Nami's nature to take care of children, and it's interesting to see just how much the Straw Hats care. But then something happens on the ship. There's someone on the ship. They make a noise. Fucking idiots. They make a noise, and the Straw Hats are shitting themselves because they don't know who it is. And the guy or girl is shitting themselves because they're like, shit, I didn't know there was someone on the ship. I'm getting stressed out. No. It's all going wrong. So maybe another fairy. I wouldn't be surprised. And then lastly, we go on to the 8th, which is Bartolomeo. That's kind of a hard one to say. He fucks Maynard's shit up. Maynard's just out of the fight for now. He's not coming back for a while, and that's obvious because you know if you mess with someone's crew, the captain's gonna come and kick your ass. I mean, standards for fuck's sake. So Maynard gets taken out, and Bartolomeo, which is important because Maynard took out Gambia easily enough, and he had 67 million, and Bartolomeo took out Maynard without any effort, and he took out, and Captain Maynard took out a guy with 67 million easily enough. What does that mean about Bartolomeo? So I'm really surprised. I'm kind of always surprised when Oda introduces new pirates, especially strong new pirates. He's got a lot of other pirates to develop that he's introduced already. So, but then he's always shown the capability to act on his ideas, and he knows how to implement them and how to develop them, as opposed to Kubo, who brings up an idea but he may not have fully created it, or he may not know how it fully fits into his story or how it works, and then it kind of falls flat, or he has to make up for writing himself into a corner. So that's I just have I have a lot of faith in Oda to see this through, as opposed to some of the other mangaka. And as for the thing I mentioned about the visions that Momonosuke see, I think that has something to do with the devil fruit he's eaten, which makes you wonder, if all the devil fruits do that, what does that mean for all the devil fruits, all the DF users of Kaido's army? Does that mean that Doflamingo can manipulate them? Is he planning? Because remember, Doflamingo, I think he wants One Piece. So if he could take out Kaido by making all his DF users go against him, that would be pretty. That would be more to Doflamingo's liking, and it would make sense because he's worried about Kaido. But I think he's worried more about his plan with Kaido than his status as Shibukai. He really needs Caesar for his plan. He's got to have a plan. I don't think it's just a business deal. He wants to move up in the world, and the only higher he can get is Emperor level. And I think that's what he's planning to do with Kaido, to make his DF users turn against him. Otherwise, I don't understand why. I don't understand, in fact, how his powers work in relation, how he can manage to imprint his haki. Maybe that's what he's doing. He's imprinting his haki into the devil fruit. Holy shit! Do you think that will happen with the Mera Mera no Mi? Oh fuck! Actually, that's a good question. Why doesn't he get Caesar to experiment on the Mera Mera no Mi to make Logia, artificial Logia devil fruits? Now that would be OP as fuck, but it's a resource that he's not using. So yeah, that's me. That's the hurts for today. I really enjoyed this chapter. Yeah, it was cluttered. Yeah, there was a lot going on, but I think Oda really needs to set things up quickly, or else things are just going to be flashing in our faces. And it's like, this popped up, that popped up, instead of just establishing it all at first and then using it. I think that's how Oda really works. He likes to establish things at first, and then later on he will use it. He has a plan. That's the greatest thing about Oda, is that, you know, a good writer is someone who either has good planning or is a very, very good at adapting his story to the needs of the plot, or really adapting his plot to the needs of the story. And Oda is definitely, in my mind, an awesome planner. And Hiro Mashima used to be an awesome planner as well, even though he knew he wasn't very good at it. And well, now it's gone down. But yeah, I just can't wait to see. You know, I really think it's going to be something like Sabondi, Apegalo, kind of the kind of supernova thing where there's a lot going on, but Oda managed to handle it, you know. And it is a week by week basis. He's not doing too much. He's going to take it at his own pace, and that's what I love the most about Oda. He goes at his own fucking pace, not the pace of the editors, not the pace of Shueisha, not the pace of the fans, his own pace, which is the healthiest for his story. So yeah, I'm gonna get out. Please leave a comment. Tell me what you thought about some of the points I brought up, some of the perspectives I've shown. Give me a rating. You know, like it or not. And please subscribe, because there's more to come. Maybe a discussion video on Sunday, talking about more about the Punk Hazard arc and what I think about it, and what I think about the structure of the new world, because I think Oda really is. I mean, in the Punk Hazard arc, I didn't think he is really, you know, he was starting to get there with the new world, but I didn't really think he brought enough to the table to make me think, man, this new world is crazy. You know, the level is just so much higher. There's so much that's odd about it. And there's enough to validate the people who've been to the New World and have come back to the Grand Line, calling the Grand Line paradise compared to the New World. And Dressrosa has really started to show me, yeah, this is the New World. This is definitely odd. This is definitely high powered. A lot of shit's going down. We started off with a fight with a Shibukai, kind of like it's kind of like the introduction to the Alabaster arc kind of thing. You know, that there's a lot going down, and this really has raised the bar. I think this arc will set the tone for the rest of the series, and it is a good tone. It is a fantastic tone. So oh, there's just so much. So anyway, that's me for today. See you later, guys. Thanks again.